Government puts the focus on young women as it tries to reduce new HIV infections. A court hears distressing details as the Coffin assault duo makes a bid for bail. Authorities probe a possible deadly life insurance scam operating in KwaZulu-Natal. A very good evening to you. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Tutuzile Ramela.
And I'm Sandy Legangose. Good evening.
To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct.
And tonight our hashtags are World AIDS Day, Coffin assault and EFF Castro.
World AIDS Day is being commemorated around the globe today. Governments warning that South Africa's successful ARV program is being threatened by the high rate of infections. A program aimed at bringing down HIV among young women has been launched in Gauteng.
2,000 teenage girls and young women are infected with HIV every week in South Africa. Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa says parents must step up to educate their children about the virus.
Unless we take action now to reduce new HIV infections, we will struggle to go on with our antiretroviral treatment program. And compatriots, unless we act now to reduce new HIV infections, many young lives will be lost.
Despite years of HIV education programs, in 2015, 380,000 South Africans were infected with the virus. Researchers say that because HIV is so intertwined with other social issues such as poverty and gender inequality, cutting the rate of new infections is proving to be even more challenging than getting people onto ARVs.
Government launched a new program aimed at bringing down HIV among teen girls through peer education and other school initiatives. But the event did not go smoothly. Hundreds of Gauteng community health workers booed and chanted throughout the speeches. They say they're only recognized as volunteers, while others haven't been paid in months.
If I can tell you, they're just celebrating this, but it's almost 7 months. I didn't get my salary, and I've been working for that 7 months.
Ramaphosa promised the workers that their issues would be dealt with at the highest level. Teresa Taylor, Davidton.
The bail application of 2 white men accused of assaulting a black man and forcing him into a coffin will continue on Friday. A Middelburg court heard disturbing details today when the investigating officer took the stand. The accused defense has disputed all evidence presented.
Upon looking at the video, the white male is forcefully closing the black male inside this coffin.
Dark details emerged in the Middelburg Magistrates Court of the alleged coffin assault. According to his statement, Retebile Mlotshwa was accosted by Willem Oosthuizen and Theo Jackson on the 17th of August. He'd been taking a shortcut to town through a farm where the duo were employed.
He assaulted the victim with a napkin that he must get inside the coffin.
The state is opposing bail. The investigating officer arguing that Oosthuizen and Jackson will affect her investigation.
First reason, Your Worship, I know that the accused person will interfere and threaten the the complainant, that he must withdraw this matter.
But Defence Counsel has alleged that Mlotshwa wasn't innocently passing through Oosthuizen and Jackson's place of employment and that he'd stolen copper wiring.
Emotions are bound to run high in a racially charged case like this. Magistrate Dumitleli must decide if there's any legal reason not to allow Oosthuizen and Jackson bail, or if they must spend Christmas behind bars. Nicolaus Bauer, Middelburg Magistrates Court.
Look after your ID or risk falling prey to possible deadly life insurance scams. That's the warning from investigators probing a scam that's believed to have left 3 dead in KwaZulu-Natal. 5 suspects thought to have killed victims for payouts are expected to appear in court again tomorrow.
When Tandeka Gwala visited a local clinic last year, she was taken aback by how helpful one of the nurses was.
She said, "Here's some money to buy bread and eat, but in the meantime, I'll arrange a grant."
Excited, Gwala gave the woman her ID book. Over the following weeks, the woman became better acquainted, and the nurse eventually took Gwala out for drinks.
I was drunk, and then as I was about to cross to catch a taxi to BP, I was out of it, I won't lie, because I woke up in hospital. I was told I came by ambulance with another lady.
She'd been struck by a car, barely escaping death. But that wasn't the worst of it. Gwala later found out the accident had allegedly been arranged by the nurse, and hers wasn't an isolated incident. Police and insurance industry investigators had uncovered a chilling plot, seemingly driven by greed.
We discovered through the centralized systems that the SARCB deploys that there were a number of claims linked to this one individual, the Kingpin.
During September and October, the so-called Kingpin, who's a school teacher, and 4 of her associates were arrested and charged in connection with 3 killings and Gwala's attempted murder.
They are stealing people's identities. They then ensure that those people meet a sticky end, whether it is being pushed off the back of a bakkie or whether they're just being shot.
In a bid to claim money from fraudulent insurance policies on their names, 2 of the victims were run over, while a 3rd was shot dead. Judgment in the bail application is expected to be handed down on Friday, while the Hawks are still calling on others who may have fallen prey to the syndicate to come forward. Desan Thathia, Greytown, KwaZulu-Natal.
Questions are being asked about whether some degrees offered by the University of Zululand are worth the paper they're printed on. A lecturer at the institution has accused it of offering fake degrees. Hlaganipani Jamile faces expulsion over the matter. The university has refuted his claims, saying they're simply aimed at tarnishing the institution's image.
Hlaganipani Jamile has worked at the University of Zululand for 13 years and leads a Nehau branch there. But he now faces expulsion for allegedly making false claims. He says some of the qualifications offered by the university are not accredited.
I maintain that both the B.Ed and the B.A. degree have lost their accreditation status.
He's even written to the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and faced a disciplinary hearing as a result.
He signed a report to Parliament alleging that the B.Ed degree was not accredited. It was one of the charges dealt with. The B.Ed degree of the university has always been accredited. It has never been decredited, so it's just dishonest.
He also alleges the University Council spent millions on pampering top managers.
They would rather spend 35 million of students' money to buy themselves luxurious homes and leave the question of accreditation unattended to.
The university does not deny some of the facts.
The board made a decision, not the Vice-Chancellor, but the board, the entire board, a unanimous decision that they would buy houses for the senior executives to attract top executives to the university and to retain the best.
Jamila says he's aware his fate is sealed.
I reject totally the findings as well as the process that led to the findings. Of course, if the process is flawed, the outcome cannot be good.
Jamila has vowed to fight the system, threatening to take the university to the CCMA as soon as he receives a dismissal letter. Skushangase, eMpangeni, KwaZulu-Natal.
EFF leader Julius Malema says white people should stop overreacting to his comments and must return the land. The leader of the Red Berets made the comments at a memorial service for the late Cuban leader Fidel Castro. He also used the opportunity to slam President Jacob Zuma. He likened Zuma to Cuba's US-backed dictator, saying Zuma has no right to say Castro must rest in peace.
Zuma is Batista of our time. Zuma is a kleptocrat. Zuma is a criminal. Zuma is benefiting his family and his friends like Batista did in Cuba, and we must crush him like Fidel crushed Batista in Cuba, because the defeat of Zuma is the ushering in of true freedom in South Africa.
Beyond our borders now, Gambians took to the polls today after 2 weeks of protests against President Yahya Jammeh's government. Voting in the presidential election continued despite a ban on the internet and international phone calls. Jammeh wants to extend his 22-year grip on power. He's rejected international criticism and announced Gambia's withdrawal from the International Criminal Court last month. Morocco has accused AU Commissioner Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma of blocking its efforts to rejoin the regional bloc. The country says Dlamini Zuma is delaying the presentation of their application to other AU members. She's also accused of inventing a new procedural requirement to reject letters from AU members supporting their bid. Morocco believes the delay is over Western Sahara's demands for independence. In 2014, Morocco rejected the AU's decision to appoint a special envoy for Western Sahara. Morocco pulled out of the AU 32 years ago. And rapper Kanye West has reportedly been released from hospital. The 39-year-old was admitted for exhaustion over a week ago. U.S. media reports say he's recovering at home. West was hospitalized a day after he cancelled his St. Pablo tour. He stopped performing at a concert in Sacramento, California, only after 4 songs. Thank you so much, Sandile. African literary icon Wole Soyinka says he's cut up and denounced his U.S. green card following Donald Trump's election win. The Nobel laureate promised during the U.S. election campaign to relinquish his permanent resident status if Trump got elected. Soyinka says Trump's election signals that the U.S. is regressing and empowering the right wing across the country. He says he was disturbed by the sight of hordes of supporters cheering Trump on as he made outrageous, racist and xenophobic statements. And opposition parties have promised to focus on the fight against corruption in municipalities. They briefed the media earlier to mark 100 days since the local government elections. The Democratic Alliance signed coalition agreements with COPE, the ACDP, the Freedom Front Plus, the IFP and the UDM after the August polls. The cooperation has enabled the DA to gain control in several councils following the elections. If you've missed any of the stories we are tracking for you tonight, you can of course find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct, or you can head on over to our website. That's eNCA.com/direct. Your business news as well as your weather details after this. Welcome back. Anglo American has concluded the sale of its stake in minerals company Exxaro Resources. The global miner sold its 9.7% equity holding for 3 billion rand. Now, this transaction was at a 10% discount of Exxaro's closing share price yesterday. Through this sale and others, Anglo American intends to lower its debt to below $10 billion by year end. Exxaro's empowerment shareholder Main Street 333 also sold its 50% share, saying it was unwinding its structure to pave way for a new one. Let's see how the markets closed today. Here's Joel Guy with all your weather details.
Welcome to the Weather Center. Heatwave conditions continued this Thursday across much of the Northern Cape, Free State and the Northwest, as well as the Gauteng province, thanks to the cloud-free skies that dominated the weather in these parts of the country. However, we had lots of cloud giving us light rain and drizzle this Thursday over the southeastern areas. We also had thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon over the northeastern sections, and the showers should stay with us for much of your Thursday night. Now, on Friday, we are going to have cloud and rainy weather persisting over the southeastern areas of the Eastern Cape and much of KwaZulu-Natal, pushing into the eastern parts of the Mpumalanga province. Isolated thundershowers are forecast once again over parts of northeastern South Africa. It's going to be mostly sunny for the rest of South Africa, with heatwave conditions persisting until next Tuesday for parts of the Northern Cape, much of the Northwest, as well as over parts of the Free State. Now, KwaZulu-Natal is going to be partly cloudy to cloudy with light rain and drizzle in places. Temperatures lying mostly in the lower to mid-20s for the province. Light rain is also possible in the Eastern Cape around Port St. John's. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty quiet for the rest of the province with warm to hot afternoon temperatures. Sunny and hot weather is forecast across much of the Western Cape, including around Cape Town, where thermometers will hit the 30-degree mark. It's going to stay sunny and very hot for much of the Northern Cape, Uppington, making it to 40 degrees. Hot weather is set to persist across much of the Free State, but it's going to be cooler for Bethlehem and Harrismith, where partly cloudy skies are expected for your Friday. We are going to see mostly sunny skies over the northwest, where temperatures in the mid to upper 30s are expected. Thundershowers continue across much of the Limpopo province, extending down into the bulk of the Mpumalanga province, but light rain is forecast from Mbombela and Mkondo. Gauteng is also going to see isolated thundershowers with temperatures in the lower to mid 30s. Then on Saturday, we should see thundershowers over Gauteng and parts of the northwest. It's going to be mostly sunny for the southern and western areas. Sunday, we'll see unsettled weather setting in across much of eastern South Africa.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, a Japanese bathhouse puts the fun back into bath time. If you've had a rough day, how about a trip to a bathhouse to soothe the blues away?
Yep, an Osaka establishment says water is just the antidote.
It's upping bath time fun and offering customers a chance to take a dip with a flock of rubber ducks.
These squeaky toys have the ability to brighten the most bleak of days. More than 1,000 rubber ducks make up this sea of yellow. Bathhouse patrons say the treat has a soothing effect.
It's really fun to be surrounded by rubber ducks, and it is also refreshing to soak in a bath with perfect water temperature. I feel I recover from the fatigues of the day.
The concept may seem a bit wacky to some, but the unique bath time experience has kept the kids coming back. The toy-filled bath is also available to stressed out adults.
A reminder of your top stories before we say goodbye. Government puts the focus on young women as it tries to reduce new HIV infections. A court hears distressing details as the Coffin assault duo makes a bid for bail. Authorities probe a possible deadly life insurance scam operating in KwaZulu-Natal. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
Yep, on the other side of the break, Rhythm City.
We do love to hear from you. You can send us an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Until we see you tomorrow, good night.